Hello everyone, welcome to part 7 of this tutorial. So in this video it's gonna be kind of like maybe kind of slow for this video, but it's we don't have a choice for this one. So what I mean by that, it's in this video we're gonna set up the navigation to make it work as a service. So you're gonna see the kind of the new way React navigation work when they say you can use it in like your state manager and stuff like that. Because as you know, in the Redux, they almost say don't use it with Redux, but they show you a way you can use it outside of your component. So this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna build a navigation service around that, and I'm gonna show you how awesome is this. So we're gonna just prepare to the next video where we're gonna add the state manager and work with this. So in this video also, what I want, it's first thing I want to update my library, so the React Native design utility. So for doing this, we just need to say yarn add React Native design utility. So that's gonna add the new version of it. And because I've added a lot of new stuff in this version, so I am pretty sure the version that's gonna be a good bump, because right now we are in version 14 and we jump to version 25. So we're gonna just add two things. So the first one is gonna be this opacity. So you can copy paste that from the Git I'm gonna send you in the description. But what I do finally, it's just gonna add after radius this opacity. So now we can use opacity with the library. And also for the font, I just want to take this font right there and just change the way that was working before. So it was right there, I just think it just delete. But yes, so just for showing you, before this it was fun like that. So you see, just to make sure we get like this point, because I make it a way that you can have multiple font in the application. So you are supposed now to be version 25. Now other library we're gonna add for this video, it's gonna be one called Wretch. So I'm gonna show you what is that after that. So that's gonna be version 1.4.1. So Wretch, it's a wrapper around fetch. So I know people say, well, use Axios and things like that. I was using Axios for like the past until the past month, and when I start to use this, I really start to really love it. So this wrapper is just first, it's really small, and this wrapper, it's just make your fetch finally less verbose and make it just a bit better, I think. So that was the version fetch when you use the real fetch, and when you make use of Wretch, you can just do this. So like they say, you can use res to receive the raw response, so almost the equivalent of when we are there. But now you can say .json, and now you receive the JSON. After that, as you can see, here is what really make me fall in love with that. It's, man, look at that. If you have some response, okay, so think about that. Maybe your the error you're gonna receive, it's maybe gonna be a 404, 401, and stuff like that. Now what you can do, just doing this kind of stuff, because this status are a standard way to say to the front end what is that. So why not having stuff like that? So now here you can say, when it's not fun, I do this. When it's not authorized, I do this. So I don't need to do if, else, if, else, if. So you see, it's really nice. And yeah, I mean, I really love it. And also one of the things I really love, it's the fact that, example, if you want to create a URL, so example here, he say, okay, here is my blog. So he put the blog like that. And now blog that post, blog that URL. So now you can add your URL. So the way we're gonna work for us is we're gonna have a customer API. So that's gonna be everything about finally the touch the customer, and so we can just put him the post and get and everything like that without changing any of the URL. So it's pretty nice, and why not you try it? I mean, it's a tutorial, so why not try something new? And one of the things also make me really like it, it's this is built with TypeScript, so you're gonna have a really nice autocomplete in your text editor. So now, with React Navigation, the thing I want to do, first thing, is to create a new file called navigation service. You're gonna see why we do this in a moment. You're gonna understand and you're gonna really love it. So in my API here, I'm gonna create a navigation services, or I can have just called that navigation. It just, I don't want to mess up with the fact that this navigation, it's not my navigation, but just more like a wrapper around the navigation. Here, we're gonna import from React Navigation the navigation action with a S. Make sure this is the one with the S. After that, at the top here, I'm gonna say let navigator. So here, the code I show you, that you have this in the Redux. So I'm not smart enough to just like create this by myself. So here, I'm gonna create a function called setup level navigator. So this level navigator here gonna receive a reference. So that's gonna be the reference of the navigation. And you're gonna see that in a moment when we're gonna plug it. So finally, here what we're gonna do, it's like, here we create a variable with nothing. Okay, this navigator is gonna be kind of a global file variable. And this function setup level navigator gonna be called with the reference of the first navigator you have in your app. And you pass it to this navigator. So now you can make use of this navigator to dispatch a function like you do when you're inside a component. You know, when you do this, that props, that dispatch, this, that prop, that navigation, that dispatch, and things like that. So it's gonna be almost the same thing. So here we're gonna create some of the action I always almost use. So we're gonna first have the navigate. So the navigate, the first thing you need is the root name and also some params. So the root name is just a string. And the params is going to be the object or whatever you want to try to pass to the other screen. So here now what we can do is we can just say navigator.dispatch. Because now this thing is going to be a navigator, we can dispatch method like you do in a component. So now here for doing this, now I can call navigation action that navigate. So I can just dispatch the navigate action from it. You pass root name and I pass param. That's it. After that, here I'm gonna say back. So the back method is gonna be navigator.dispatch, navigation action.back. After that, one function I kind of like now, it's pop to top, where here I'm gonna have an immediate, who's gonna be false by default. And immediate, it's just finally to say if you want the pop. No, it's not false by default, it's true by default. It's pop to top mean, example, if you have a stack navigator inside another stack navigator and you are in the third screen of this second stack navigator, if you call pop to top, well, you're gonna get to the first screen of this navigator. And if you say immediate, that means you don't gonna have any animation. Here we're gonna have navigator.dispatch, and you can say type. And here I'm gonna say navigation action that pop to top, and I'm gonna say immediate right there. And last function, I'm gonna call one called reset. Reset here, we're gonna need to add some action and also an index. And finally, we're gonna just dispatch type navigation action dot reset. Reset, what the reset, this one. Here after that we pass index and we pass action. So finally we just kind of do in double what we do in the props component, but you're gonna see why we do this in a future video. And finally here I'm gonna export object called navigation service. And this one here, I'll just pass everything inside that. So I pass navigate, set top level navigator, back, pop to top, and reset. And I'm also gonna pass the navigator, so underscore. So I'm gonna say navigator, it's equal to navigator like that. And at the end of this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say Windows.navigation services equal navigation services. And why I do this, you're gonna see that in a moment. So now here I have my file, okay? So what I want to show you is the fact that that's work. It's the JS inside the screen. Here inside the app navigator, we can use the ref. The ref here will receive a reference, and now we can call navigation service dot, and now here we can say set top level navigator, and we just pass R. That's it. And now by doing this, so inside the index of the screen, because we import navigation service, that's gonna work now. So inside your navigator debugger, you can try to type navigation service. Now if you click enter, you're gonna get the full navigation object. So here this is the full navigation object we just create. So we have the back, the navigate, pop to top, reset, and blah blah blah, and everything. Here now, what we can do, but here I want to be able to say navigate like that, and if I say main, you see now it works. So you see you can control your navigation from this services now, and I really really like this way. So you can pass your stuff and things like that. So example, if you use Redux or Mobex or whatever, now you can make use of these services inside your action. So example, a good example, you create an action called, I don't know, like logging. So it's gonna be your stuff about logging, and you do your stuff about logging, and when you finish, you say navigation service that navigate, and you say go to the main. So I really like this way, and I think that was a good thing to show. Perfect. So now what I want to do is prepare the API for plugging Mobex. So I told in some video maybe I'm gonna use Redux, but I really want to use Mobex State 3, and I really think everyone can really enjoy that. Redux have so many tutorials all around the web, and I think Mobex State 3 have no love, but it's something awesome, and I just want to show you. So here, first thing for just doing the API is going to be pretty simple. We're going to import Wretch from Wretch. The only thing we're going to do here is just exporting a customer API. So just the API of the customer, the customer finally route. And here what we say is HTTP localhost 3000/API/v1/customer. So for now, this is the way we're gonna work, but in the maybe in kind of the final video, I'm gonna show you a way then you can change that with the command line and just make it like it's gonna be the route for the production and things like that. And the only thing I want to do before finishing this video is gonna be to jump in the server. And now because we're gonna jump a lot in the server and the mobile, all in the some future video, we're gonna make use of our workspace in Visual Studio Code, and I really think this is a good place to show you how to work. So here inside Visual Studio Code, you can right click and click add folder to workspace. So I'm gonna add this server folder. By doing this now, I'm gonna create a workspace where I can have my two folders together. So this workspace here, I can even save it. So example, I can click save workspace as, and now here I'm gonna call that as I don't know, like EQuimper in store. So now I'm gonna save it. So what that's gonna do, one sec, first thing that changed the name here, but now if I close this Windows and I reopen a new Windows in code, Visual Studio Code, now I can open a workspace and I can just finally open the one I have. So example, this one is inside YouTube 2 React Native, and now I can open my code workspace. Just by doing this, now they're gonna open both folders together like that. The thing I like about the workspace is the fact that when you're gonna push to GitHub, later. If you, now it don't gonna work because it's the same Git, but if you have multiple Git, that's gonna be break also here. So it's pretty nice. So now if we jump to the server, what I want to do is inside a customer here, I want to create a new route called me. I call that me, you can call that other thing, but for me, I think I always call that me. From GraphQL, I start to do this and it just makes sense. So this route here, me, so don't remember we are on the server now. This route here gonna receive a user ID. The only thing this route gonna do, it's finally just return the user information. Nothing, it's just like, okay, now I have my token, give me my stuff, that's it. And how we're gonna do this is by just calling the function from customer called find by ID, and we just call that with the user ID provide. If we have no user, we can throw an error. We say user not exist, and finally, if we have something, we can return it. That's it. Now inside the controller, inside my controller, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just create this function. So it's gonna be called get user info. And why I call that me, it's in the future, I can just put this inside a global module, so I can use it also for my admin and everything. So if this function get user info, we're gonna just do a try catch. Here I want to, if I have an error, to return 400. And what I'm gonna do here, it's if we have a reg.user, we're gonna do something else, we can return something else. We're gonna do this one first. So if I have no user, I just want to return a message with a 400 will mean a bad request to say no user. But if we have a user, I want to get this user info from my me method. So the me is coming in from customer. And here we just need to pass the user ID. So we can do this by saying reg.user._ID, because remember what we did yesterday. The get token from others here, when you get called, get the token and do the stuff. And after that, this thing gonna go inside your request, as we did yesterday when we create inside the customer. Here we say customer out, where here we get the token, blah blah blah, and when we get the customer, we add this inside the reg.user. Okay, so now reg.user is this full customer we get from the find by ID. So now here what I do, it's I just get this information from here, and finally inside my controller, what I want to do is just send this user info to the front end, and I'm gonna send that inside the 200. So inside the 200, what I'm gonna do, it's I'm gonna just return user info without curly bracket, because if you do this, that's gonna be a key inside the object. And now finally, if we go to the route, we can delete all this stuff, change that to be get user info, and change that to be me. So now if we jump to Postman, here we get the token of yesterday example, and if you keep it like I have done yesterday, we have it like that. So we have the bearer. So now if I go to /me and I click send, that's gonna don't work because my server is not running. So I'm gonna just run my server. And now if I click send, I get my information. If you want to make sure that you don't send whatever you don't like, you can just create a kind of a factory function or whatever you call it to just break up the stuff you have. Here I don't really care because we don't really have like a passport and stuff like that. Not passport, but password and stuff like that. So I just keep it like this. And just know this me stuff gonna be managed with Mobex State Tree, and you're gonna find that all Mobex State Tree can remove a lot of boilerplate of Redux and put this information in a way that you're gonna like in the front end. So I hope you enjoyed. So next video, we're gonna start to make use of Mobex State 3. So if you want to prepare yourself with Mobex State 3 and you really don't know what is that, if you go to egex.io and you search here for Mobex, you're gonna find this course here, Manage Application State with Mobex State 3. It's a full free course of Mobex State 3, and man, when you just start to do this course and you get like until this point and stuff like that, you're gonna really start to really see why I really kind of like it. And also the creator of Mobex State 3, who is also the same who created Mobex, is the one who teach this, so he really take the time to tell you like everything you can do and things like that. So it's really awesome, and I really encourage you to do this. It's 1 hour 19 minutes, and yeah. So I'm gonna put this link in the description, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we're gonna talk in the next one. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.